Cheese.
All right, welcome back to That's Some Cheese, part of the Vendetta Sports Podcast Network. Today is Monday, February 3rd. It is the day after the Super Bowl. We have one of our bloggers, Will Sweeney, on the line. We're going to talk about the Super Bowl. Will, what's going on?
Hey, man, how you doing?
I'm doing all right. I want you to bring your A game because I got some passionate thoughts here, and I want you to respond to them. So,
Okay.
First thing first, I want to start with the 49ers here. And a lot of people are sitting up here today, and I'm just sick to my stomach listening and watching people talk about, well, you know what? Kyle Shanahan blew it, and you know what? Jimmy Garoppolo can't get it done. I hate all of those people. I hate all of those people because none of those people picked the 49ers to win more than 7 games this year. Mm-hmm. I picked the 49ers to win the division. They made me a lot of money. And these people don't get to sit up here and blame the 49ers for going all the way to the Super Bowl and losing. Because last year, this is a team that had the second pick in the NFL draft. Kyle Shanahan is one of the 5 best coaches in football. It's not arguable. He took Raheem Mostert this year, who is an undrafted guy who got cut by 7 teams and turned him. He looked like one of the best running backs in the NFL. Jimmy Garoppolo is a bona fide franchise quarterback. It's not debatable. In the draft this year, they made all the right decisions. They took Nick Bosa, who's a monster. They took Deebo Samuel, who I said was the best receiver in the draft. Turns out he is. San Francisco did almost everything right. Those people that are criticizing the 49ers today, they don't get to do that. They don't get to do that. The 49ers, all the people in the organization, they can be disappointed. All the critics out there, they don't get to do that.
I agree with everything you said about the Niners being smart in the draft, rebuilding their team. I've always thought, up until after week 5, probably in the season, that Kyle Shanahan looks like he's the next best coach. He looks like the next Belichick. He's so young. And last night he coached a great game. Like, I have to give him props. Andy Reid's a good coach, too. He just came out on top. There's a couple things I do disagree with. I don't like Jimmy Garoppolo. I think he's a bona fide franchise quarterback. I think that he's good enough to be a franchise quarterback. But in the long run, in this game, I felt like it would come down to the 2 quarterbacks, and Mahomes was better. Nobody should be disappointed in the Niners. Niners had a great season. They played great, and I think that they're going to be the next few years. They're going to be a really good team in the NFC. I didn't expect them to. Nobody gave them a chance to even go to the Super Bowl, even when they finished 13-3. Everybody was saying, they're not good enough, or not that they're not good enough, but they just don't seem like they're good enough to get to the Super Bowl. And then to play the way that they did, I mean, they dominated most of the game, to be honest. Up until the last 6 minutes, they had the game bagged. I thought that after they picked off Mahomes in the 4th, that was it. But when you got an offense like the Chiefs do, you always are in the game. So I have to agree with you on most of the stuff that you said.
Listen, I just don't understand the hate that's around Jimmy Garoppolo. This man is 21-6 as a starter quarterback with the 49ers. 21-6. They had the second pick in the draft last year without him. He's good. There were a lot of games this year that they don't ask him to win every Sunday, but there were a lot of games this past year where he did win for the 49ers. That New Orleans Saints game, how many points did he put up? 40-something and outdueled Drew Brees? I don't know what more people need to see. And we're going to sit here and act like, Tom Brady's the greatest quarterback of all time.
Mm-hmm.
He was bad in a lot of Super Bowls. Bad in a lot of Super Bowls. He put up 20 points and did a lot of things that he could have easily won that game. Quan Alexander missed an opportunity for an interception that I think would have sealed it. That offensive pass interference call against George Kittle, I think was pretty horseshit. I didn't like that call at all. They could have easily scored a touchdown on that drive. So I hate when we do this thing to where, well, the quarterback loses, therefore it's his fault. It's not right.
it's not Jimmy G's fault that they lost the game. There were a couple bad passes he threw at the end, like again to Sanders. He overthrew Sanders, was beat the double coverage, and it was zone coverage, I believe. He beat the two men, and then Jimmy G overthrew him, but the offensive line was playing horrible in the end. I mean, the Chiefs' pass rush were just kept on getting the Garoppolo. There was nothing that you can really do about it. I don't hate. What's up?
Let's say this, though. Patrick Mahomes is getting praised today, and he should. Here's the issue I have. He didn't outplay Garoppolo, really. He made a lot of bad decisions himself. He turned the ball over twice. He made a lot of bad throws.
Mm-hmm. Chiefs defense won that game. I said that at the end of the game. It really stepped up. Like, I didn't expect the Chiefs to hold the 49ers the way they did. I mean, the 49ers were able to run still, but they really did keep the 49ers in check, and I believe that they were the real Super Bowl MVPs. Of course, it was going to go to Mahomes. We all knew that.
My point is, let's not pretend like Mahomes significantly outplayed Garoppolo, because I don't think that's nearly the case.
No, he didn't. He didn't outplay Garoppolo. He didn't outplay Garoppolo. He just won the Super Bowl MVP, so he's going to get praised. And they won the Super Bowl. I don't think this is it for Garoppolo, though. Like, I really don't think that this is the last time that we're going to see him in the Super Bowl, because the 49ers are young. I mean, they're really young. They didn't have much but neither side of the ball for both teams had much Super Bowl experience other than, Richard Sherman and, those guys. I mean, Tevin Coleman was a backup when he played against the Patriots. I didn't see Tevin Coleman at all last night. It's just a different game. When the Super Bowl is just so much different than the rest of the games. Just different players shine, like, what's-his-face, Bourne. I mean, I haven't watched the Niners that much this season, so I hadn't seen him that much. He did pretty good last night for the Niners. I mean, I think he was our leading receiver, but you look at the stat line, it just didn't seem like the stat line didn't seem like the game was, you know what I'm saying? It was just, I believe that Garoppolo will get back there eventually.
Of course he will. This 49ers team is young. Like, this wasn't a team that was supposed to be this good this soon. They have Nick Bosa's a rookie. Deebo Samuel's a rookie. Eric Armstead, baby. DeForest Buckner, still on his rookie contract. They've got a lot of young guys. This is a very, very young team.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. I agree with that. They're a very young team. Chiefs are very young, too, but the Chiefs and the Niners are going to be the next two teams that, in their conferences, to be out on top, for the next few years. The Niners, I didn't expect it. I mean, I thought that they were going to be improved this season. I didn't think that they would do this. I mean, they impressed, completely impressed.
That's my entire point. Nobody except for me thought they were going to be this good. So all the people criticizing them can go fuck themselves because they didn't believe in them.
Last season they won like no games last season, and to turn around and then go to the Super Bowl, it's
crazy.
Not like,
and then those people are going to sit there and say, "Well, you know what? They had a bad year." Come on.
Mm-hmm. No. I don't believe that at all. I can't sit back here and say that. I mean, midway through the season, I got an argument with a 49ers fan on Instagram. And he was talking about how they're doubting the Niners, and he proved me wrong. I mean, everybody did doubt the Niners, and the Niners did step up. I mean, only one team comes out on top, but to even get to the Super Bowl, especially after having the second overall pick the year before, it just doesn't happen. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't really happen like that. So I'm proud of the 49ers. I'm happy that Andy Reid got a ring. And other than that, I mean, 49ers definitely deserved to win that game, in my opinion, because they did outplay the Chiefs the whole game. But when it came down to it, Mahomes just stepped up and the Chiefs started rolling.
Let me get to the Chiefs now, because here's the other big point I had about this game. For years and years and years, I had to sit there and listen to people say, well, Andy Reid can't win the big game. Now it seems like everybody loves Andy Reid. This is why I hate people. I have a genuine hate for people, because All of those people that sat there for years and criticized Andy Reid and said he's never going to get it done and his clock management is too bad to ever win and he doesn't focus on defense enough. And you know what? I hate all of those people because they're going to sit there and pretend like they never said those things when the fact of the matter is Andy Reid is the best offensive head coach of my lifetime. The best. I've never seen an offensive coach better than him in my entire life. He got A.J. Feely to where people thought he was good. The Eagles got a second-round pick for A.J. Feely. I don't know if you even remember who that is, but it's a miracle.
Yeah.
Donovan McNabb sucked. He was horrible.
Yeah,
and people don't remember that. It's a miracle they got to 4 straight NFC title games because the minute Donovan McNabb left, everybody realized how bad he was.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Michael Vick, by the way, takes Michael Vick straight out of jail, out of the league for how long, and goes to the playoffs and wins the division? Really? How? How did he do that? Andy Reid finally is getting the credit that he deserves, but the problem is it should have been deserved a long time ago. It's not, oh, Andy Reid finally figured it out. No, he's always been able to coach.
Yeah, he's always all of his teams have. I mean, how many losing seasons has Andy Reid had? Has he had any?
I mean, one maybe the year that his son died.
Yeah, Andy Reid's always been a good coach. People forget that.
No, he's not just a good coach. He's a great coach.
Yeah, he's a great coach, and I really the reason why I wanted the Chiefs to win was because I wanted Andy Reid to get that ring because it was well deserved. I mean, Andy Reid deserved to win a ring finally, and I was so happy when the Chiefs won. It just something about Andy Reid I like. He's a great coach. He's always had a prolific offense. He put speed around Mahomes. Mahomes is a fast quarterback, and they were just a powerhouse offense this season. And you know, their defense didn't need to step up for most of the season. Last night they did. The Chiefs' defense definitely needed to step up last night because the offense wasn't doing anything up until the final 7 minutes of the game. The final 7 minutes of the game, the Chiefs started rolling. The Chiefs started scoring touchdowns, and they ended it for the Niners. I mean, another point I was going to make is I don't know how the Niners let that run break through like that. I mean, when you know that they're going to run the ball on third down, how nobody has awareness of the fact. I just don't understand how that happened. I was just astonished that Damian Williams get that 40-yard touchdown run.
I have a couple more things on Andy Reid because I don't think this is being said about enough. I love Patrick Mahomes, and there's no denying his talent. However, we should mention that he's not this good without Andy Reid. He's not this good without Tyreek Hill. He's not this good without Travis Kelce. And I love Patrick Mahomes. But Andy Reid, there's never been a coach in my life who's better with quarterbacks than him. Let's not forget, Patrick Mahomes, now he's great. There's no denying his talent. There's a reason why he wasn't the first pick in the draft. He had bad feet. He had bad decision-making. He was kind of a mess at Texas Tech.
Yep.
I'm not saying he fails without Andy Reid. He's not this good.
Andy Reid make Alex Smith look good. I mean, that just says about, Andy Reid. Alex Smith's best years were with Andy Reid, and Alex Smith sucks, in my opinion.
Andy Reid took garbage Jeff Garcia and made him look good. Andy Reid took Ty Detmer and made him look good. He makes everybody look good.
Yep, absolutely. He's a good quarterback coach. I mean, he's a good coach in general. I've always liked Andy Reid, and I believe that I don't think he's done. I also don't think that he's done yet. I definitely think that the Chiefs have a couple more Super Bowls in their future. I don't think that this is the only time Andy Reid wins a Super Bowl. I mean, I can't sit back and say, looking at this young Chiefs team, that Andy Reid is not going to get back there because it could be next year that we see the Chiefs and Niners again for all we know. I'm not going to say anything too early because we still got the NFL draft and free agency, but the way it's going right now, it's Andy Reid will probably get back there and win another Super Bowl.
Here's the other thing I want to mention, and because I hate most of the media. How many head coaches would have realistically saw Patrick Mahomes in practice and benched him for the whole year because they had Alex Smith? He benched him for the whole year because he knew it was the best thing for Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah,
And because
look,
Patrick Mahomes wasn't a refined product. He benched him for a whole year. How many coaches do that now? Nobody.
not that many coaches, but you know what? I will add to that. I saw the last game of the season, regular season for the Chiefs. They clinched a wild card. They weren't going to move up or down in the seeding. So they played Mahomes, and Mahomes played awful in that game. Like you said, obviously Reid worked on Mahomes, but so after that game, I was like, shit, like maybe Patrick Mahomes won't be as good as Chiefs expected, and then 2 for 5,000 yards and 40-something touchdowns in his first actual season in the NFL. And nobody gives Andy Reid the credit that he deserves, because he does deserve all the credit for the Super Bowl win.
I just don't understand, like, that's so important. They sat him for a whole year. That helps. He learned the entire offense. And then he gave him another offseason of just learning and figuring out the game. Like, how many guys get that opportunity to learn from him?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Not many teams. Not many quarterbacks either.
And I also want to say, Andy Reid, he's the most innovative offensive coach of my life. I remember him with Philadelphia. You're probably too young to remember this. Brian Westbrook, he revolutionized the screen game. Nobody was better at drawing up screens than Andy Reid and Westbrook, and screens to the tight end. And he always figures out a way to change his offense. Even now in Kansas City, things are so spread out, and he's got speed all over the field. Absolutely. If you watch Mike McCarthy coach the Packers, the offense looks the same from now to 10 years ago. Andy Reid's offense is always different.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I agree with that. Andy Reid, I agree with that. And the moment, what happened? All right, so Andy Reid was the coach of the Eagles. Then who went in there after Andy Reid? Chip Kelly?
Oh, God.
Was it Chip Kelly?
Yes, it was.
And that just ruined them. And he went to the Chiefs, which I think the Chiefs, the year before Andy Reid got signed to them, fucking finished with like 4 wins. Then he turned them around. I think they went like, I don't know, when was it when Alex Smith, when did they cross paths? When did Andy Reid and Alex Smith cross paths?
He was there. He was the first quarterback he had with Kansas City.
Okay, so then he took him to the playoffs a year after they won like 4 games. Just like Shanahan did this year with the Niners, he did that with that team.
Well, Kansas City had the worst record in the league. He had the number 1 pick.
That's what it was. They won like 2 games then. I remember because I'm a huge Broncos fan, and I watched the Broncos that whole season. That was like Peyton Manning's second year or something like that. And the Chiefs were like 2-11, and they faced the Broncos, and the Broncos smothered them. But in the next season, they were battling for like an important game in the division, and I was like, damn, look what happened to the Chiefs. They got good in 1 year. It's the same thing with the 49ers and Kyle Shanahan. It's almost the same exact scenario. Maybe they're different teams, obviously, and the 49ers' strong suit is their defense, but Andy Reid he hasn't done anything bad in the NFL, and people don't realize that.
I don't have much else on the Super Bowl. That was kind of my big takeaways, but I'm also happy for Terrell Suggs. I'm happy to see him. I don't know if he'll retire, but 8th all-time in sacks, one of my favorite players of all time. I'm so happy he was able to get a ring, too.
I'm happy about that, too. I'm happy that Terrell Suggs got a ring. So,
do you have anything else to add? Throw something my way, because those were the main things I wanted to cover. I hate people. I hate the media so much.
You covered a lot of the things that I was thinking about. I was thinking about another point that people were saying before the game the Chiefs were going to blow out the 49ers. I heard that a lot, and I don't know why people were saying that. And I started to believe it when the Chiefs, it was 3-3. Chiefs scored a touchdown. They drove, I think, right outside the red zone, threw a pick, and then after that, the Niners just started dominating up until the last few minutes of the game. And people don't realize how much credit the 49ers should get for putting up a game like that, because, being honest, I think the Chiefs were the better team, but Shanahan so young. I mean, he coached such a good game, and I think people should give him more credit than what they are.
I think that's a good point. Let me say this. A year ago, they're playing either New England or the Rams. San Francisco wins that game.
Mm-hmm. A year ago, yeah.
I don't think New England was a good team last year. I don't think the Rams were a good team either. I think this San Francisco 49ers team that lost in the Super Bowl would have beaten both of those teams.
I think Shanahan would have outcoached McVay. McVay's a good coach, though, too, but Jared Goff was so dumb. I feel like it would have been – I just feel like Jared Goff's not a smart quarterback. He's talented, but he's not smart. I feel like Shanahan would have exposed him like Belichick did, and the game would have been low scoring. I do believe the 49ers would have won that game. Definitely. I have to agree with that.
I don't think last year was even a good playoffs. Jacksonville almost made the Super Bowl.
Yeah, for real. And Jacksonville should have made the Super Bowl, actually. Like a terrible call in the end of the game. And then they haven't been good since.
Yeah, my point is, I think these were really, really two good teams. Like last year, I think the 49ers, like Jacksonville almost legitimately won the Super Bowl with Blake Bortles.
I know. That was insane. I was rooting for him, though. I'm not even going to lie to you, because they were such underdogs. I was rooting for them. How could you not?
Or maybe that was 2 years ago. I might be messing up.
Yeah, it was 2 years ago. Because they played the Eagles. It was Eagles-Patriots.
Whatever. I think they could have won that game. Won that Super Bowl, too.
You think that? Who? You think the Jaguars?
No, San Francisco this year.
Yeah, but I'm happy the Eagles won that game. I'm happy the Eagles won that game. That game, it's just tough. Like, when you look at other seasons, it's hard to compare because it's different. I wish I could see a game in real life like that. But yeah, I do agree with you.
All right, well, I think we covered pretty much everything. We can do another podcast maybe next week. You have anything else to add?
No, that's it. It's a good talk.
All right, thanks for coming on. Thank you guys for listening to That's Some Cheese. And until next time, we will see you soon.
Tell you something. You know what really grinds my gears? You, America. Fuck you, Diane.